Update: AITA for breaking up with my fiancée for telling her best friend she was not engaged. I got engaged to my ex-fiancée 3 weeks ago. Recently, I found out she hadn't told her best friend James about our engagement. I told her that made me uncomfortable because of their relationship in the past. When I confronted her, she texted him about our breakup. She even had been speaking negatively about me to him, including sharing personal issues. Original post: my now ex-fiancée, 30F, and me, M27, got engaged 3 weeks ago. We've been dating for 5 years, and I finally got the money to give her the wedding she wanted. Well, 3 days ago we were discussing our guest list, and I asked if she wanted to invite her best friend. Let's call him James, M30. James lives in another state, but since they were friends for 10 years, I thought I could even pay for his travel expenses, since it would be great to have her best friend at the wedding. She denied, saying that it would take a lot of work to bring him, and she wanted to be a family event. Countless times she mentioned that James was like family to her, so I insisted. She got annoyed and said I didn't even told him we were engaged. That took me by surprise. I sunk it around. I tried to ask why, but she started stonewalling me, and I left her alone. After a couple of hours, I tried to ask her again why she haven't told him we were engaged, and she still refused to tell me. And I admit, my insecurity got the better of me. In the past, James had confessed he had feelings for her, which she turned down and basically friend-zoned him. But by the way she told me, it always sounded like she had him as a backup, something not only me, but her exes realized. She married him online. They always made their WoW characters look like a couple, like wearing the same transmog and shit like that. When she had a fight with her exes, he was always there for her, and etc. I told her that made me uncomfortable, and if she was not planning to tell him, she might as well consider herself single, because I would not marry someone who couldn't be honest. Yes, I was pretty immature, but she did something even more immature. She texted him while showing me her phone something like, "Hey, just so you know I was engaged, but not anymore," and send it to him. I told her to pack her things and leave my house. Ever since she left, she has been calling me, but I refused to answer. My mom called me, because she apparently called my mom, and said that I was an asshole for ending things for such a ridiculous thing. So, AITA, edit. I'm already low contact with my mom, but I'm going to make my decisions after I clear everything up. So, I'm kind of promising an update. Update. Hey guys, I just got home after talking to my still ex-fiancée, and since a lot of people asked for an update, here it is. But I want to clarify a few things. As commented on my original post, I pay for the house since I bought it before dating her, and I asked her to move in, since it was close to her job. I work from home since I'm in tech, but she had to go to work. That's why I paid for her car, to help her commute. And honestly, her salary is shit. I was her partner, so I didn't see any problem with that. I thought she was the one. Despite everything, she is smart, funny. We had chemistry, but I felt betrayed. To the update. We met at a coffee shop on the premise we would discuss how to save our relationship. At least that's what she thought. As soon as we sat down, I asked to see their messages. She got defensive immediately and told me she had deleted everything. I asked to see her phone anyway. She started to cry, ugly cry, asking me to stop. At that point, I had already decided I was not going to be part of the relationship anymore, but damn, I was curious. It took a good 20 minutes for her to hand me her phone, a lot of crying, even a waitress asking her if she was okay. So I read the messages. There wasn't any cheating like nudes being exchanged, them professing their love for each other, but what I read still stung. There was a lot of shit talking about me. A lot. Texts and texts of them saying how terrible of a person I was, criticizing my hobbies. I like video games and pro wrestling, saying I wasn't a real man because of them, and stuff like that. But there were two topics that caught my eye. One, where she had told him I was having trouble getting hard, and that was frustrating for her. And one where she was complaining about how she didn't want to be stuck in our relationship. Keeping these things in mind, I tell my sister I'll support her no matter what, but she's still super early on. And if there is anything that happens with the baby, she will not only have to deal with the disappointment and sadness herself, but also manage my mother's emotions. I try to gently caution her that she just needs to be prepared if that happens. She tells me to shut up. My response is, again, I'm not trying to be negative, and I don't want anything to happen to the baby, but I just want you to be prepared for all conversations. My sister resounds with, you and cousin being like, wait to do this and we'll think about that. I'm fucking pregnant. My whole world is upside down. Of course I'd ideally want to wait, but if I get married in November, I have legit a month to pig things together to do it the way I want. I respond with, I'm getting the impression that you're in a, I need to hurry up and go and do mindset, and I think cousin and I just want you to know it's okay to pause for a minute. This is a single day after she found out she's pregnant, and her response to me is, I think that's real shitty of you. Stop mansplaining my life to me. My response is, I'm sorry if it's coming across as demeaning, or like, I don't think you know what you're doing. I do think you know what you're doing, but I think you're feeling so many emotions right now, and I'm just trying to reflect things back. If you just need my support, I can ask husband to go golfing with dad, and we'll be there to support you. If that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. I am just trying to recognize that you're in a brand new, crazy, life-changing situation, and it's okay just to take a beat and not solve all problems at once. Her response to that was, nope, don't want you guys there. She then went on a rant about needing to get married in a church and how hurtful it is that we, cousin and I, don't care about it. I didn't respond. She has a history of taking shit out on me and not actually listening to what I'm saying. I let a day go by and then text her. She doesn't text me back for hours. I text cousin and ask if she's heard from sister. Cousin sends me a voice memo saying that, yes, my sister is mad at me and thinks I owe her an apology, and that I'm stressing her out, and that stress is bad for pregnancy, so I'm essentially endangering the baby and that she should use that against me. I lost my fucking mind. I sent my sister the following: I literally never told you not to get married. I'm glad you want a church wedding and don't care you want to get married ASAP. What I was nicely trying to tell you was that if I was in your shoes, I'd want to be 110% sure the baby was healthy because I wouldn't ENF to manage mom's emotions in any fallout. The fact you're talking to cousin when she yolf you to abort it is the misser fucked up thing. I am not your fucking whipping boy. And then I blocked her. The next day my husband got a barrage of texts from my sister and tried to gaslight him about what happened. He already knew what I had said and nicely pushed back. He said he thought they left it in a reasonable space. Well, the weekend just came for her boyfriend to ask my dad for permission to marry my sister. My husband did go golfing with them. All was well. Today, day after golf event, my sister and her boyfriend told my parents she's pregnant, and then also handed them an invitation to their wedding at the end of November. My parents are happy, but in shock. My dad did admit he felt a bit hoodwinked. He said everything just went backwards. My husband and I went over to my parents while my sister and her now fiancé were there. The fiancé spoke to us, but my sister wouldn't make eye contact or acknowledge me or my husband, besides making a snide comment about how she thought I didn't want to be here. I ignored it. They left. I filled my parents in on what had happened between us. Everyone is telling me I should apologize to her for the angry text and leave it up to her to meet me in the middle. I'm hesitant because I don't think she will. She never does. She dumps on me all the time. This is a habit of hers, and I'm done with this cycle. Am I the asshole for blocking her and not apologizing? Thank you for sticking around until the end. If you liked our videos, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with our latest content. Have a wonderful day. Yes, I was having problems in bed because I was sad because my father had passed away 6 months ago, and the stuck thing. I remember telling her that when we got married, if she wanted, she could leave her job and I would provide for both of us. I don't know if she took this the wrong way, but I guess it was related to that. I honestly don't know. By the time I gave her the phone back, she was already giving excuses on why she was saying those things to him, how he was like a therapist for her. And then she asked me, "Don't you complain about me to your friends?" And I simply replied, "No, I don't." She started crying again. I took a pretty deep breath and just said, "Just give me the ring back." I didn't have the ring with me like some suggested. She hesitated a bit, but gave it to me anyway. I stood up and asked her to delete my number and to not bother me anymore. I called her mom and asked her to pick up her daughter's stuff at my place. Her mom is a good person. I'm just realizing I'm going to miss her as I write this. She understood why I decided to end it, but she didn't ask much. And to be honest, I'm glad she didn't. As for my mom, I didn't call her. I just blocked her for things unrelated to this post. I just realized she never had my back in anything. I was always trying to save an already failed mom-son relationship. Before I leave, I just want to clarify. I was never against her having male friends or any type of friends. People are going to cheat. Friends or no friends. I remember my dad saying something to me when I was a teenager. He always said, "Opportunity makes the thief." But I do not agree with that. Anyway, since I have the next 2 weeks off work, I'm going to figure what to do with the wedding money, drink some booze, play games, and watch Monday Night Raw later. Peace. P.S. Sorry for any typos, but I fixed the title now. Edit. A couple of people are asking about the car. Is a 2015 Nissan Versa, which she crashed 2 times. Both times she rear-ended someone. Never liked the car, weak engine. The interior feels cheap and overall bad, so for all I care, she can keep that piece of shit. I would have more luck throwing it off a cliff than selling it. Edit 2. Little update. Her mom called me a few hours ago to check on me and to ask when she could come and pick up X's stuff. We spoke about the car, and she basically forbid me to let her daughter keep the car because, 1, I paid for it. 2, X wouldn't be able to maintain it, so I'm going to keep the car until I'm able to sell it. God help me. Also, some people called the story fake because they said I wasn't a real man for playing games, and yet they played WoW. To be honest, that's on me, because I wasn't very clear. The real man thing was more about the pro wrestling hobby than the gaming hobby, but in some messages they clearly mocked me for playing some games. Life is Strange series. In one, I remember James saying something like, "How could a grown-ass man play such a girly game and cry?" Yes, I cried, playing Life is Strange. I also cried to RDR2. The I'm afraid cutscene still makes me emotional. I'm a crybaby, I guess. Also, I want to thank everyone who messaged me to talk about wrestling and games. It really helped me take my mind out of everything. I haven't replied to everyone, but I intend to. If anything happens, I'll let you guys know. Be good people. Relevant comments. Commenter, James saying you're not a real man because you play video games, while simultaneously creating his WoW character to match a girl who smacked him into the friend zone / backup plan option, is galactic levels of cuck-fueled irony. OP, you gave your time, effort, and money to someone who didn't deserve it. It's unfortunate, but it can happen. Take some time to heal and become the best version of yourself. All the best. Commenter, dodged the ballistic missile. She did not want to be stuck to you. Then why cry for a marriage she doesn't want? Oh, but she is going to miss the wedding. That's what she wanted. Let's see if her best friend boyfriend can provide her with one. Oh man, there are 4 billion women in this planet. Be patient, yours will find her way to you, but not this POS. Story 2, 8th for blocking my pregnant sister. Recently, my sister, F32, called me to tell me, F33, she's unexpectedly pregnant with her boyfriend's baby. They've been dating for a year and a half, and they were talking about getting married. So while this was unexpected and shocking, it is not a bad thing. My sister has always wanted to be a mother, and will be a good one, but is someone who likes to plan and is worried about appearances, so the excitement of being pregnant was mixed with the fear of judgment and anxiety of life happening out of order. She called me the day she took the pregnancy test, and I was so excited for her. We were on the phone for well over an hour, unusual for us, neither of us are phone call people, while she was processing her emotions. She was a bit numb and in disbelief. Also, the weight of her boyfriend being a cop in a major city was starting to sink in. She expected she was 2.5 weeks pregnant at this point. Other than the boyfriend, the only other person who knew was my cousin, who was my sister's best friend. Cousin, F32, suggested my sister abort the baby when my sister called to tell her the news. This was not what my sister wanted to hear, but she said it go. The same day my sister tells me and my cousin about the pregnancy, my cousin, sister, and I are in a group chat talking about the baby and the possibility of a pending wedding. Meanwhile, cousin starts sending me voice memos on the side A about how she thinks my sister needs to calm down. She's barely pregnant and is now focused more on getting married than on the baby. She's crazy for being so focusing on getting married in a church and wanting to reach out to sister's boyfriend to get his take on all of this. I agree with my cousin that my sister went from 0 to 100 real quick, but is just using a wedding to try to gain control of an unexpected situation. No need to get the boyfriend involved, we just need to be supportive and roll with it for now. We both tell my sister to call her doctor the next day and set up an appointment and get her health in check before making other decisions. My sister has a chronic autoimmune disorder, so there is an increased risk to the baby. Also, don't forget she's 2.3/3 weeks along. The next day, my sister calls the doctor and makes an appointment for over a month out. They supposedly don't need to see her before then, unless she feels something is going wrong. Sister also calls churches seeing when they have dates available in the next 2 months, because she refuses to be a fat bride and things. It's tacky to have the child you birthed at your wedding. She's adamant she need to be married in a church ASAP. For context, we were raised Catholic. I did not get married in a church. No fuss was had about it. I don't go to church regularly. No one cares. My family believes in God, but none of us are super devout or strict. No one in our family is. My sister does go to Mass about once a month and likes church in theory, but does not say grace, say prayers, or display any other sign she's religious besides going to church every so often. My cousin and I try to gently say to press pause on the wedding until she knows more about the health of the pregnancy. Sister refuses. Cousin sends me more voice memos about how crazy she thinks my sister is being. I don't disagree. Sister sent me a text saying her boyfriend is going to take my dad golfing to ask my dad for permission to marry her 2 weekends from the time of the text, and wants to know if my husband would go too. She said she thinks after he asks for permission, they will then tell my parents that my sister is pregnant. More context. All my mom has ever wanted is to be a grandmother. She's been asking for grandkids since I was 18. She would not have cared if we got knocked up by a stranger. Also worth noting, my mom and my sister have a strained relationship. They're both dramatic and make things about themselves.